Welcome to today's webinar. This webinar is being hosted by the Rule of Law and Empowerment Initiative. We are also known as Partners West Africa Nigeria, P1. And the theme for today's webinar is Citizenship and Accountability, Understanding Citizenship in Nigeria. And this is the first webinar under the P1 Civic Education webinar series. My name is Nkem Okereke, and I'll be your moderator for today's session. I'm equally excited to welcome you all to this conversation. Kindly put down your name, phone number, email, and your organization in the chat box as a form of introduction. Remember, you are also to use the question mark icon if you have questions or contributions, and we can take it from there. This discussion is one that affects every Nigerian, whether you were born here, you live abroad, married into the country, or you simply want to understand how citizenship shapes your rights, identity, and responsibilities in Nigeria. Citizenship, of course, is more than carrying a passport or identifying with a particular country. It influences your access to rights, protection under the law, political participation, and even your sense of belonging. But beyond rights, citizenship also raises deeper questions like what does it really mean to belong to a nation? Are Nigerians fully aware of their rights? Why do many Nigerians feel disconnected from governance? And how can citizenship exist without active participation? And of course, these are some of the important questions we will explore today. We have engaged two experts as guests for this conversation today. One of them is Mrs. Kulthum Mohammed, who is distinguished legal professional, judicial officer, and women's rights advocate with over 20 years of experience spanning international legal exposure in the United Kingdom and public service leadership in Nigeria. She is currently the Director General of the Niger State Child Rights Agency. Thank you very much for joining us, Mrs. Mohammed. We also have here Mrs. Nana Hawa Issa, who is a lawyer, civic educator, and human rights advocate with extensive experience in governance and citizen engagement. Thank you very much for joining us, Mrs. Nana. All right, so to begin, let's start with the foundation. When we use the word citizen, many people think only about nationality or passports, but legally and socially, citizenship means much more. So I would like to ask this question, and it goes to Nana. Who exactly is considered a citizen under Nigerian law?
Okay, under the Nigerian law, a citizen is a person that is legally recognized as belonging to Nigeria and that is protected by the Constitution of Nigeria. However, for somebody to lay claim to being a citizen of Nigeria, you have to be either citizen by birth, registration, or naturalization. And within just like split up down to say, okay, this is the methodology of becoming a Nigerian citizen. It's actually embedded in our Constitution of Nigeria, which is the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria, as amended in 2011, with on section 25, 26, and 27. So back to what I was saying. To be a Nigerian citizen by birth, I know many people before now would think that okay, when you say by birth means that just by being born in Nigeria, you automatically become a citizen. But there is what we call citizen by jus sanguinis, which is you have to become a citizen by birth due to your ancestry. So if your parents are not Nigerians and you are born in Nigeria, you are automatically not a Nigerian citizen. You are still very much the nationality of your parents. But if you're born in Nigeria to a Nigerian parent, you are a citizen of Nigeria by birth. If you're also born somewhere else, maybe in another country, you are born in the UK, you are born in the US, you are born in Jamaica, wherever it is around the world. However, your parents, either of your parents, either your mother or your father is a Nigerian citizen, automatically you become a Nigerian citizen by birth. However, if you are born in Nigeria, so either of your grandparents is a Nigerian, you also become a Nigerian citizen. But it is not applicable if you are born outside Nigeria and either of your grandparents is a Nigerian. It doesn't apply to you. You have to be born inside Nigeria to be able to say, okay, I'm a Nigerian citizen by birth. You have to be born inside Nigeria to two Nigerian parents that are, either parents that are Nigerians, or born outside Nigeria to either Nigerian parents that are what? Nigerians, or born inside Nigeria to either Nigerian parents that are Nigerians, for you to say you are a citizen of Nigeria by birth. Then another way to acquire Nigerian citizenship is by registration. And this registration is only applicable to two persons. Anybody outside these two people cannot acquire Nigerian citizenship by registration. That is one, a woman that is married to a Nigerian man. You can become a Nigerian citizen when you show that you have good character and you're going to be resident in Nigeria, and you have sworn to the oath of allegiance of Nigeria. So if you are able to show these three conditions rather, and you can now apply to register to become a Nigerian citizen. This is for a woman that is married to a Nigerian man. However, a man that is married to a Nigerian woman cannot become a Nigerian citizen by registration. It is only applicable to women that are married to a Nigerian man. Then the second person that has the power to apply through registration is someone that is a descendant of a Nigeria but not born in Nigeria. Like you're in Nigeria, your grandparent is in Nigeria, but you were born in another country. So if you are now an adult and you now decide to come and stay in Nigeria and you should stay for some period of years and you are able to show you are ready to now be resident in Nigeria, you don't plan to move out of Nigeria to go and settle in another country, then you can now register as a Nigerian citizen. So the only way to become a Nigerian citizen aside by birth, or which is mostly looking at bloodline, and by registration is by naturalization. And that's one of the hardest methods to become a Nigerian citizen, because for you to become naturalized as a Nigerian citizen, you have to have spent so many years in Nigeria. You have to have contributed to the development of the nation. You have to have community presence and acceptance. That is the community you live in. They have to accept you. The chief in that community have to recognize you that, oh, this person is someone that we love and we want him to become part and parcel of our community. You have to make some applications, and at the end of the day, the president has to approve it for you to become a citizen of Nigeria by naturalization. That is for those that don't have descendants that is a Nigerian or married to a Nigerian man. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Nana, thank you so much. I didn't even know, I never knew that citizenship had to, or extended to grandparents. And I never knew that it had something to do with born outside Nigeria or born inside Nigeria. And thank you very much for that enlightening response. So, like I said, I didn't know a lot of things about citizenship of Nigeria. And why do you think it's important for ordinary Nigerians to understand their citizenship status? I'm sorry, I just want you to throw more light on that. I'm with you.
Okay. Why it's important for Nigerians to understand what it means to be a citizen is that we have had so many tension in recent time where Nigerians don't really identify, as in they don't understand what it means to be in Nigeria, the, let's say, the rights that comes with it, the duties that comes with it, and the expectations from even the government to you yourself, and also when you talk of accountability. Because when you look at, thank God we're in our political climate now, and Nigerians are veering towards 2027 to carry out the next election. So when you are a citizen, you now know that your civic responsibility, you will not take it lightly, because you know that, okay, this is something that is important, and I have a say in my own national development. And it makes you to be able to, when you talk about citizen, you can't talk about patriotism without talking about citizenship. So for somebody to be able to be patriotic, to like have allegiance to a particular nation or state, that person has to like understand, why am I even giving my allegiance to this country? What does it mean that I'm part of this country, and why is it important for me to do this? So civic education is something I'm happy that now is primary schools and secondary schools, they are now bringing in civic education as part of their curriculum. But however, even us as adults, we need to recognize the fact that being in Nigeria is not just because you are in the territory, Nigeria, and okay, this is where God decided that I should become, or I should come in through to the world. It goes beyond that. So when you understand that, okay, I'm a citizen of it makes it easy for you to know that, okay, you have right, what are your rights, what are your limitations, what do we expect from, and how you can, because being in Nigeria is not about your own self alone. Whatever you do also like portrays where you're coming from. Yeah. That's why you see that even you see sometimes you see Nigerians are complaining online that, okay, somebody committed a crime in the US and this person was not even born in Nigeria, but at the end of the day, when the mugshot is being publicized, they said in Nigeria named, and the name in Nigerian name, that why would they now, because he has committed something, why are you associating it to us? And the same Nigerians, when you hear that there is a mayor in a particular county, maybe in US, that is now, there is a Nigerian that is now maybe registered as a citizen in US, is now the mayor or the governor, you can see the joy that comes with it, that even though the person is not in Nigeria here, he's doing something good or great outside there, or or like in doctors, lawyers abroad, you can see the joy that comes with it, that, oh, this is a Nigerian that is doing something good. So
thank you.
It's actually very important for us to know who we are.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nana. I really appreciate your response. So now I will just ask you now, how many Nigerians do you think understand the rights attached to citizenship? In your experience?
Many of us don't really understand the rights attached to citizenship. Many Nigerians don't understand because Nigerians are more connected and affiliated to ethnicity than they are to nationality, and that is a problem. So
it is a very big problem.
So the issue now we should look into is the issue of Section 15 sub 2 of the 1999 Constitution, which clearly stated that national integration shall be actively encouraged, while discrimination on the grounds of place of origin, sex, religion, status, ethnicity, and linguistic association will be prohibited. Now, from this section, you can see three things are mentioned in, the same thing is being mentioned, but giving three connotations. They say ethnicity, linguistic affiliation, state of origin. And they say they will not, it is actually being prohibited. But actually, the reality of Nigeria today is that your state of origin, your ethnicity, your linguistic affiliation is being given more, let's say, importance than the fact that you are in Nigeria. And that is why you see that somebody born and bred, okay, maybe you are a Hausa man, but you're born and bred in Enugu, but you can't come out tomorrow and say you want to seek to be the governor, and vice versa is the case. Why? Because we don't really look at the fact that, okay, this is somebody that is from part and parcel of us. He's from our nation. He's in Nigeria. So we don't really place importance on being a Nigerian citizen, we place more importance on ethnicity and where you come from than the fact that Nigeria as a nation is one entity and we need to unite.
Yes,
So,
thank you
and
very
that
much.
has
I
also
know.
slipped into so many things in what we do today. Even when you talk of employment opportunities, when you talk of political opportunities, so many things has affected the fact that that identity of, okay, I'm a citizen of Nigeria is eroded today.
Okay, thank you very much, Nana. I really, really appreciate your insights on this. I mean, maybe one of the topics for this series, we are going to really delve very well into the rights attached to citizenship, because I know that there are so many rights that people have as citizens, but because of just what you said, ethnicity, it looks like those rights don't matter. And it looks like there is no, the institutions or the law enforcement institutions are not there to protect the rights of citizenship. So we would have a voluminous conversation, a robust conversation on the rights attached to citizenship in Nigeria. So we know that under Nigerian law, a person may qualify as a citizen if they were born in Nigeria. And of course, you have also mentioned about parents and grandparents. Mrs. Mohammed, I'll be coming to you now. I'll be asking you a question. How does Nigeria citizenship structure compare with what happens in other countries?
Okay, thanks, Ekem. I think I got the name right. That's Ekem. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good morning. You asked the question, how does the Nigerian citizenship differs from other countries? As Nana has already said, she has talked a lot about what it is to be a citizenship. What is to be a citizenship? It's beyond documents, honestly speaking, beyond documents, because it's holding just a passport, a Nigerian passport, does not qualify you to be a citizen, because there's so many things that involve to be a true citizen, which involves your right, your responsibility, participation, accountability, and absence of belonging. Those are one of those things that are so important for you to become a citizenship, to know. And the problem, as she has already emphasized also, is the problem of civic awareness, which is one major challenge that is faced in Nigeria at the moment. People do not fully understand their constitutional right, their civic responsibility, and their roles in government and nation building. So those things, citizenship and accountability, it's another issue that goes beyond that. It's so closely, we have to look into that, and it's so closely connected to being a citizenship cannot demand, without having accountability, you cannot become classify yourself as being a citizenship, while ignoring irresponsibility, corruption, and injustice within the society. It's another issue that Nigerians are facing. As she already said, you said, what is the difference? Nana has just brought out a very important factor, which I'm going to dwell in as well by answering your questions. The fact that the difference between a citizenship in Nigeria and citizenship outside the country is, as in outside the country, once you're recognized as a citizenship, ethnicity does not come into place. You are who you are, and being a citizen in a country like in the UK, honestly, where I came from before I came back to Nigeria, being a citizen in the UK allows you to participate freely in any political, any law enforcement, anything. There's no discrimination to say that, okay, just because you're a citizen of UK, but you were born out, your parents are born in Nigeria. No, once you're a citizen, you have the right to fully participate actively in every single society activities within the country. But in Nigeria, you can't have that. As she said, in Nigeria, it's citizenship by birth, and we have citizenship by marriage and things like that. But the problem we're facing in Nigeria, and it's a problem of awareness, and we have to let people understand. Nigerians are emphasizing their citizenship only based on ethnicity, descendants which I think is the major problem that we're having right now. We need to curb that issue and let people understand that once you're a citizen, you should have the right. Like, for example, I'm born in Lagos State. My parents are from maybe Niger or something like that, but I lived all my life in Lagos, born in Lagos. Being the fact that I'm a citizenship of Nigerian, I should be allowed to participate in politics, to become the governor of Lagos State, to become the High Court, to have opportunity to become a High Court judge in Lagos State, or to become the CJ of the state. But because that Nigerians have not taken the issue of citizenship so seriously, and people do not know the right, and I think the Constitution needs to go back in and spell out those rights for people to know that once you're a citizen, you have a right to be allowed to freely exercise your right anywhere without any form of discrimination. Because now the citizenship in Nigeria is based on discrimination. I said ethnicity is the biggest problem that we're facing in Nigeria based on citizenship, because people are not allowed to become who they are. It all revolves around your ethnicity, where you're from, who's your descendants, all these kind of things. And if we have that, we're still going to have problem, because citizenship is mainly your identity, your right to participate freely. So in other countries, you have, once you're a citizenship, you don't face any kind of discrimination. For example, you can take the UK. The Prime Minister in the UK right now, he's an Indian, but he lived and he was born in the UK, and he got citizenship. So that gave him the right to participate freely in the parliament. But if you come to Nigeria right now, and I was born in Niger State, as I said to you earlier, and I go to another state, I can't participate in any of the function, any of the political arenas, any of the judiciary, any arms of government, because of this ethnicity and discrimination. So I think that part is the part that we really have to look at. And if we don't change that aspect about us, I think we're still going to be moving backwards rather than forwards, because the world right now does not revolve around ethnicity. It's more of who you are and where you're from. And once you're a Nigerian citizenship, I think you should be able to move freely around the 36 states in Nigeria that you have, that you can participate freely in anything without any form of discrimination, because you're from another state in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your thoughts on that. And I didn't know that. Also, I have another question I'm going to ask you. I know that people leave Nigeria and people stay outside Nigeria for like 50 years, 40, 60.
Yeah.
At that point, will you say that their citizenship in Nigeria has expired?
That's a perfect
Do you understand my question?
Yes, you asked me that question, right? Good question.
Yes.
You know, when it comes to that.
And also, let me ask another one.
Yes.
Will you say that their citizenship in Nigeria has expired? And if citizenship actually expires, what do you think one can do, or a Nigerian can do, to retain citizenship? Yes. When you are abroad. How do you retain Nigerian citizenship when you are abroad? Yes.
Excellent question. You know, because in Nigeria, the beauty part of this, I can only use Nigerian and UK. The beauty part of Nigeria and the UK being a citizenship is you're allowed to have dual citizenship. The dual citizenship means that you're a citizen of Nigerian, and at the same time in the UK as well, you are recognized. Only Nigerian, I know it's allowed to have that. I think that came into place with your President Babangida. At the time, he made that possible for Nigerians to have dual citizenship. And as you said, expire, it doesn't expire. But what it means is, like, for example, okay, I'll use myself, for example. I'm here in Nigeria. I'm a resident in the United States, but I'm here in Nigeria, and that coming back to Nigeria has not stopped me from having my citizenship to Nigeria, which I'm still working here, I'm doing everything. But you have to, while you're juggling the two, you have to make sure your domicile, you have to, there's this thing that you have to make sure that you go back once in a while to make sure that your awareness, you understand, you go back home, we call it home, to show that your domicile, you have to show comes the domicile to the country that you belong to. Sometimes you can't stay, maybe you've stayed in the UK for about 3 years or so, then you have to make an effort. That's what they say, diaspora. Come back to your country, make some activities, do something, then you can go back. Citizenship does not expire. doesn't expire because you have the right, especially when Nigerian, the President Babangida gave us the right of dual citizenship. That's why Nigerians were able to enjoy. If you're living in the UK, you can come in and out of Nigeria. You can go back because that's why you're entitled to two passports. Honestly speaking, because being a Nigerian, once you have a citizenship in Nigeria and then you have a citizenship in the UK, you have the two passports. And I think that, but rightly, I think Nigeria is the only country that I know that is actually enjoying that dual citizenship. So that in that form, your citizenship cannot expire, but you have to show domicile in each of the countries that you go back, so that you put in a sense of identity. That's why if you're in the diaspora, you find that people in the diaspora come back, they put something back home, they give something back to their country to show that, yes, I'm part and parcel of this country. So citizenship doesn't expire as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you very much. I like that. Thank you very much. And do you still feel, I know in social media, when something happens on social media, you hear netizens saying things like, a lot is happening in that country. You know, Nigeria has become that country to them.
Yeah.
And maybe these are probably people that left Nigeria like last 2 years, as this Japa thing became a thing. Yeah. So do you still think that some Nigerians, maybe I know you have been to the UK, of course, from your accent, I can tell. Do you still think that many Nigerians abroad still feel connected to the civic issues here in Nigeria?
Okay, I have to say, honestly, I can't speak for all of them to say yes, because once you go out and you leave the shores of Nigeria, and I think, as you said, all over recent years, when people are going over there, they go over there, they see something different. Honestly speaking, what they see, it's accountability, transparency, which we don't have here, corruption, which is not over there. And I think with the civic awareness that you're saying, we can't take it away from ourselves. Once you're a Nigerian, you're always going to be a Nigerian. I'm sorry to say, even if you lived in the UK for 100 years, deep down in your bones, you're not accepted. It's a funny aspect of it. You can never be accepted to be a British citizen. Because why? Deep down in your bones, you are a Nigerian citizen, because that's where your ancestors, your parents are from. So going back to say that you're forgetting about what is happening in your country, I think it's impossible. And I think with the people abroad, the diaspora, we need to come in. More awareness has to come out to say, yes, I know there's always saying that, oh, that Nigerian, that, and that. But then who's going to make a better Nigeria if it's not us? You can't just leave your own country and go to another man's country and feel that you belong there. Honestly speaking, there's a thin line, because they can never accept you forever. US is citizenship by what they've given you, but really deep down in your heart, where are you from? You have to ask yourself. For example, I think I will use the example of this what's her name again, that claims that she's not a Nigerian, but she schools in Nigeria. But who made her who she is today? What's her name?
Me?
Kemi Badenoch.
Badenoch.
Kemi Badenoch, for example. If you look at it,
Yeah.
we're talking about citizens, aren't we? Kemi Badenoch, really, when you hear the word Kemi Badenoch, where is she from? She's a Nigerian citizen. Where are her parents from? Nigerian. So Kemi Badenoch coming to say that she's not a Nigerian doesn't make sense. Because you are a Nigerian, just because you're now a British citizen doesn't make you. And that was the question that she was asked. Where did you get your first education from? The first education was bought from your motherland, which is the land of your parents. So you can't really deny that aspect, because you've gone to another man's country trying to deny your own country. I think for Nigeria is an issue that I think we need to have awareness, and we need to get people to come back. The moment you leave your shores of Nigeria, don't forget, because we have to try and improve our system, because we have kids. We have the younger ones behind us. And if we don't improve what we have here, and we're taking our knowledge and everything to another man's land, how do you expect our country to grow? So we have to come back. We have to have this. I keep saying Nigerian. I think the problem with Nigerian is that, how can I say it? We're not really truly connected to our own country. We're more connected to another man's country than our own country. Do you get my meaning? If you understand, we're not proud. Can I say that we're not proud of who we are? Honestly speaking, I found that, because yes, as you said, from the way I talk, yes, I've schooled in the UK. I lived in the UK.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's been a difficult ride, but I think it's the best experience of my lifetime, honestly.
Before we close, Nana, I will give you 2 minutes to just tell us what changes you would like to see in Nigeria's civic education system. Just
Okay.
use 2 minutes to tell us, yes.
The change I would like to say is the fact that I would like to us to remove that sense of like say how do I put it? I would like Nigerians to be proud. Patriotism is lost. And until we bring back that patriotism and that sense of identity to our nation, to this country, to this state, all the complaints that we're having in terms of governance will not be solved. But as soon as Nigerians now identify with the country Nigeria, you are proud of the country Nigeria, and you see Nigeria as part and parcel of you, that selfishness, that will I say act of what do you say when people are in a position and they only want to favor those that are from their state or from their ethnicity or from their religion, all those behavior that we are not comfortable with will be removed. Then we will now bring back accountability. It will lead to bringing back accountability and even national development. So the major thing that I will want to see in our civic space is for Nigerians to be proud of being Nigerians, to identify first as being Nigerian before any other thing. Thank you.
Mrs. Mohammed, I would like you to use a minute to tell us the change you would like to see in Nigeria's civic education system.
Okay, thank you very much, Ikem. The civic education system in Nigeria that I would like to see, as they said, it's already in school, but I would like it to go further. The civic education to be part of parenting. The civic education has to be part of parenting, religious and institution, and public enlightenment. I feel those civic education have to be part of that. And I think people should try to understand their rights and take responsibility for their actions. I think when we do that, and we have to come together as one and be more accountable to our own doings and everything, and be responsible to our society as a whole, because we owe this to the children, to the nation. As I said, you have to be, as Nana has emphasized, proud to be who you are. We need this proud, people need to be proud to be Nigerian. And by that, if we do that, as I said, advocacy, institution, we should take it back to school. Let the children understand what it really means to have this accountability, to have this sense of awareness and belonging. I think that's what I would love to have in this system, in this Nigeria, so that we can have the civic education to be continuous. And I think that's my take on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Kulthum Mohammed and Mrs. Rana Hawa Isa, for sharing these valuable insights with us today. As we are coming to the end of this webinar, I would like to say that this conversation is a very important one, and it is also very timely as we are gearing towards the 2027 general elections. Thank you everyone for joining us today for this webinar and participating in the conversation. We hope today's session has not only informed you, but also encouraged you to think more deeply about citizenship, accountability, and your role in shaping Nigeria's future. If you found this webinar valuable, we have the recorded version. We would like you to help us share it with your colleagues, friends, students, community groups, and family members so that they understand their rights as citizens of Nigeria and also their responsibilities. This webinar, of course, is proudly hosted by Rule of Law, an empowerment initiative also known as Partners West Africa Nigeria P1. And this is the first of the P1 Civic Education series. To learn more about our work, please visit our website, www.partnerswestafrica.org. partnersnigeria.org. When you go to our website, you will also see our policy brief on civic education. Also follow us on our social media channels at Partners Nigeria. Thank you once again for joining us, and I will say have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you.